But luckily, we have a chance to change that individually, to move that energy inward, to regenerate and balance, since your body is pharmacy of its own, when energy is applied appropriately. Because when body is in balance, we emit frequencies that support one another, which directly influences our electromagnetic fields. And that's our immune system. Basically, we're always transferring our energy, voltage, through photons. You know, those are the small particles that carry information and energy. And you're familiar with the real photons. Those are the ones on your credit card or ID. So when you slide your card, you know how much money you have in the bank or how much you can spend. But then we have biophotons. Biophotons are we read directly with our body from one another. Biophotons are photons of every living being on a planet. It's information that we're emitting every moment of our life. So when you're emitting negative thoughts, you lower your frequency in an average of 12 megahertz, while positive thoughts can raise your frequency in an average of 10. So imagine what thoughts and emotions are doing to your energy level. A healthy body typically produces frequency ranging between 62 to 78 megahertz. But this balance, disease, begins only at 58. And every part of the body has a frequency that corresponds to a certain psychosomatic issue. So once you remove the energy charge on a subconscious level, and psychology is nothing else but removal of energy charge from the problem, you will still remember your trauma, stress, but you will no longer determine your feelings, perception, personality, or your behavior. So basically during stress and trauma, every psychological movement, it doesn't matter if you're talking about clinical psychology, gestalt, psychotherapy, family therapy, transactional analysis, they only have 4 elements. Those are memorized image that you saw in a moment of trauma stress, thought that went to your mind in a moment, emotion that you felt at a moment, memorized physical sensation, which means where in the body did you feel that emotion in a moment of trauma and stress. And people love these methods due to confidentiality and speed of results, since removal of energy charge from bad memory, stress and trauma, or existing unwanted habits, or even implementation of a new desirable character traits can be accomplished in just one treatment. But major dependencies like alcohol, drug, food, sex, and so on can take up to 7 treatments. But saves you years and years of therapy, since it's not traditional process of clinical psychology where you talk about problem. As Nikola Tesla stated, every time you talk about something, you feed it with your new energy. So story or whatever you talk about grows, involves, and not only that all energy is still present, but it gets even empowered, stronger, and even more installed into your psyche. So remember this, every time you think or talk about somebody, it doesn't matter if you love or hate them, you are basically feeding them with your energy, and they're becoming stronger regardless of your intention. Point is that there are many great psychological techniques, but out of all these techniques, focus primarily on cleaning the already suppressed emotion later on in a therapy, in your shrink's office, or group therapy. Basically dealing with the stuff from your memory, from your past. So here's my proposal. Now imagine if we all agree to adopt a new interpersonal approach that will allow us to integrate this energy charge before it's suppressed. Now, in the present, on a subconscious level, using AC, alternative current. Tesla's my idol, so if something is good, then it can be applied to anything. So we don't have longer to pretend that we are tough, smart, invisible, and unable to get hurt or whatever. By the way, I grew up in a country where power and how strong one person is measured by how much one can carry on their shoulders, how strong one looks from the outside while burning inside. This is why we have hero next to hero dying of an illness. It is more important to impress others or even impress our own ego than to be authentic and healthy. But by suppressing emotions, one is not strong. One is not really authentic, or not credible, or genuine to self or others. So learn this method and give yourself a right to respond authentically to any emotion, good or bad, without any judgment. But here's the best part of this new method. Without involving anybody else in the process. By not involving others, we are free from psychological games that we play with each other, consciously or unconsciously. Imagine just how lighter the world would be if every person will release the major emotional baggage that we carry with us everywhere we go. These huge loads of unsolved energy charge. Since once the emotion is integrated, neutralized, there's no need for it to come back. It's the same thing with desires, goals, wishes, and trauma. They're all created in contradicting situations. But once you accomplish and integrate them, there's no need for them to come back. For an example, long time ago I designed a house of my dreams. Now my wish, desire, goal is to create possibility to build it. As I should, since my main profession is architecture. Psychology is just my hobby. So once I finally create possibility to build my house of my dreams and I move in and I invite you for the tour of my new home, it will not make sense of you to ask me if my goal is still to design and build my house, since it's already accomplished, it's fulfilled. Same thing with emotions. Once you integrate and neutralize certain emotions, there's no need for them to come back. It's a done deal. And pay attention, I did not say experience emotion. I have stated integrate and neutralize emotions. There's a difference. When you experience something, you give it your energy, it grows. But when you integrate it, then the energy charge is neutralized, it's gone. There's a procedure that can be applied for this integration, working on a subconscious level using left and right hemisphere of your brain. But that's a longer story. So I gave this method the name F.A.I.R, for free, authentic, instant release, or F.A.I.R, which is free emotional release for my language. You know, spell it any way you want, but just be fair to yourself and others and get rid of the baggage. So by applying F.A.I.R method, not only that you can clean your emotional blockages popping out, but also you can do the same thing for people who are involved. Even though they might have opposite or different suppressed energy charge provoked by same drama or situations, different techniques are applied for groups and individuals. And upon completion of the F.A.I.R method, you will get energized. You get more energy when you complete things. Suppression is what takes the energy away. Accumulation of thought and emotion creates separation through an ego. And most problems come from separation. But in reality, we're not really separate from one another. So integrate yourself in unity, state of peace, of nothingness, actually place of possibilities. It is your life. There's no reruns. This is it, at least in the form that you show up tonight. Thank you.